everyone. Caleb here. Another episode of Modern Era Fitness Podcast. With me, as usual, no one, because he's running to get a drink of water. So, through the miracle of editing, he's going to say his name right now.
Mike Walsh.
Hey, Mike.
Hey. So, we're going to tackle some of your questions today. I'm a personal trainer.
And I am a martial arts instructor.
So, we kind of bring a couple of things to the table. So, starting
Just
right off
two
the
things.
bat.
Only two things to the table.
Only two.
So, we received an email from a listener, a super fan of sorts, that wishes to remain anonymous. The email says, "Hey guys, any tips for losing the last pesky few pounds? Nutrition and workout is already really good. Need some secret tips from the pros." This person emailed it to the wrong email address. I'm joking. It's us.
Oh.
It's us.
I was going to say because I have it too.
Yeah. Thank you. Slightly Fluffy is the name.
So, Slightly Fluffy wants to be not so slightly fluffy.
Correct. From the email only,
Yeah.
that's what I gathered. Like they've had success so far.
They're kind of plateaued.
But yeah, with a few to go. Where do we start? What the nutrition and the workout? This person says that it's on point, so I'm lost.
Yeah. I think you can kind of boil it down to what are you not doing and adding some flair to your workout. So, let's say she's got, great...
This person,
let's say this person has perfect cardio, perfect strength training, and perfect nutrition. I'd take a look at stress. I'd take a look at sleep. I'd take a look at water intake and make sure you're balancing all those. If your stress is elevated, you're going to have a really hard time, and you're going to be working against yourself. I would also look at timing. So a really good rule of thumb is to wake up and do your fasted cardio, and that's going to add another level of intensity for fat loss.
yeah,
So instead of just doing cardio, like, it's afternoon, it's between meals, I'll do my cardio. Like, that's great and all, but you might try doing cardio first thing in the morning. If everything is on point, like the nutrition and the training and the exercise and everything, then it comes down to a rule of kind of like 1%. It's like, where can I gain 1%? And one trick is drinking water before your meal, and then you'll eat less, usually.
just because volume,
Just
less
because,
volume available.
volume available. And that's it. And so that's 1% right there. And you might eat, on average, 50 less calories per day. And that seems like nothing, but it really adds up. So that's 1% over here.
Wait, I like that, and I think that would work for a lot of people that maybe haven't thought of that before. But what if it's a person that has a strict diet and they need to eat everything that they put on the plate because it's measured out and their workout routine requires it? Does that make sense?
If they have fluff and they're trying to get rid of fluff,
Oh, okay.
yeah. You see where I'm going?
You're just doing tough love.
I'm doing tough
I get
love,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So if they have to shave off a couple things off their plate,
Then
that's fine.
Then that's it.
That's my personal belief.
Okay.
So that's 1% gained right there. And now we just play the game of like, where else can we gain 1%? So drinking water before a meal, doing cardio in the morning instead of, between meals like in the afternoon.
Right.
So wake up, do your cardio, doing a fasted cardio. That's going to be another 1%. And you're going to create more fat burning enzymes that way anyway. It's hard, but it's effective.
Okay.
So we have the drinking water, fasted cardio in the morning instead of in the afternoons. So simple things like taking the stairs instead of the elevator. That's another one.
The everyday little changes.
Yes, the everyday consistent little changes that adds up. So if you're gaining 3% over just those three things that I mentioned, over a week, that's how many percent?
Right.
1% a day over these little tiny changes. And that's my personal belief, is just boiling it down to those things and being
Where
consistent.
can you trim?
Yep, trim. And that's all I got.
Just those three? Make up two more.
I could say so many. For your exercising, especially with...
Oh, you mentioned something off air.
Supersets.
Yeah, supersets and changing your reps and sets and all that. What?
Not necessarily reps and sets, but you could just, if your routine calls for 4 sets of 8, you could throw in another set. Or you could superset and do your set of, let's say bench press, because it's always bench press.
Right.
Do your set and then go do 5 slam balls or 5 wall balls where you get a full body.
I did that this
thing
morning.
going. You did?
actually. Yeah. So I was doing bench, natch.
Classic.
Yeah. But I was interspersing it with shrugs, working on my traps.
Nice.
So I did bench press, I did shrugs, and then I did flies with shrugs, and then I polished it off with a little bit of abs.
Nice. There you
No
go.
shrugs.
No shrugs.
Abs.
Shrugs
So-
same times as abs.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. No neck, all abs.
Yeah. Oh, that's a horrifying picture. So I supersetted.
Right on.
That's
That's 1%.
that's one. Gosh, it felt like a lot more than 1% when I
Yeah.
was doing it.
It always does, but it's all those little things that add up.
Do you need to tweak your downtime at all? Because you're going from activity to activity. So, because normally between sets you have an allotted amount of time that you give your body to relax, but not too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to have the thing that I'm supersetting with. If I'm going for trimming and trimming the fat,
Mhm.
both physically,
Mm.
then I'm going to do my traditional, like bench press or barbell squats or, my good old-fashioned lifts. And I'm going to superset it with something that's full body and intense and spikes the heart rate. So, like, wall balls are a good one.
I see.
Slam ball's a good one. Hammer time is
So
a good one. Flipping a tire.
So it's almost like your lifting is your downtime in that.
It.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but it's like you're doing a heavy lift and then you're doing a highly intense, high intensity exercise, and you're just
Right.
going back and forth.
Right.
So
I
when you're
guess-
doing your lifting, you're really taxing your muscular system, and when you're doing this high intensity exercise, you're really taxing your full system.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're doing one, you're giving the other system a break.
Yeah.
You're just going back and forth. So
Yeah.
I would do, your standard, roughly 60 seconds, give or take, depending on what you're going for,
Mm.
break in between strength training sets, like bench press.
Right.
And then you have 60 seconds to do those 10 slam balls or 5 tire flips.
And
or
if you
whatever.
get them done early,
you
then
get 'em
just
done
take
real
the rest
quick,
of the time.
Yeah, then you have that time left to just
Okay.
hang out and chill for 40 seconds or
I
whatever.
think that was my mistake because I would go immediately from one to the other. So it's just a
Oh, just
marathon,
go.
and it was
Well, then you get, that smokes you really quick.
yeah.
Ew.
Ooh.
Yeah, try adding that 60 seconds from when you stop your bench press, and then you have that 60 seconds to do your whatever, and then start your bench press again.
Cool.
Wakey.
It's nap time for Caleb.
Eggs and
Fakey.
tofu.
Yeah. Yeah. Fakey.
Eggs and fakey.
Well, that's good. What? So, water, small daily changes like taking the stairs and that stuff.
Yes.
There was a third thing.
Cardio in the morning versus
Fasted
afternoon.
cardio. That's right.
Yeah, make your cardio fasted, and that'll throw you for a loop.
Okay.
Especially if you're not used to it.
Yeah. Should I be concerned about that health wise?
You mean like being too taxing?
Like working too hard?
Hey, slow down.
You don't want too much gains.
Yeah.
No, but say my cardio of choice is running in the morning and you're not fueling yourself. That's the idea behind fasted cardio, right?
Yeah. You're forcing your body to find another source.
It just sounds so uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
But I guess that's how it goes.
Yep, that is how it goes. But it's like anything. After you do it for a while, you're like, oh, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would look at us and say, like, lifting weights at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Hell no, ever no.
Yeah. But maybe that could be some people's problem of losing the last little bit is their body is used to the routine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like with what you were saying about fasted cardio, your body's finding a new source, but once it realizes that, okay, this is the routine, I know I'm getting fed afterwards, maybe it stops losing its benefit.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Oh yeah.
So you got to switch it up all the time?
So a really good cutting program is going to be constantly tweaked, and it's going to change consistently to fit you, because our bodies will adapt to whatever you're doing, and it'll hold that as long as you're doing that same thing. So you got to up it or change it or do something different or more.
Because you're going to get the same results
Yes.
for as long as you're doing the same thing, whether it's
Yes.
unhealthy or healthy.
Right. So it would be like, just doing 4 sets of 10 with 130 pounds on bench press and just doing that forever. You're not going to change. You're going to get to a certain point, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you run into the other problem of just adding more. So like, let's say somebody says, yeah, I want to lose this extra fluff. And they say, my nutrition's on point, my training's on point, everything's on point. So they just add more. They add more sets, more exercises, more cardio, and then just add more and more and more.
Mm.
And sometimes if something's not right, then adding more will make it worse. Does that make sense? So if your nutrition's on point or your macronutrients aren't in the right ratio for you and for how you're training, then it doesn't matter how much you add. You're just going to drive yourself into the ground, and then you're going to get sick, and you're going to have a hard time. You're going to injure yourself, and you're still going to have that flap.
Huh.
So you should probably get a personal trainer. I know a guy. He's okay.
He's pretty good.
So using some biofeedback techniques and really paying attention to your own body, that's how you make the right decisions. And having a coach outside of yourself is gold when it comes to that.
They use it a lot in meditation training. Like if some people can't unplug and meditate, they will give a person either a blinking light or a sound that anytime their heart rate goes up because they're stressing about something, it fires off, and so it makes you aware of what your body's doing, and then you can pay attention and consciously like choose to chill out. And it's pretty effective because most people, that's the first step, is becoming aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
The
things that I like to measure that I think are really effective are the raw data of the body, like measurements and skin fold measurements, things like that, coupled with performance measurements. So if I notice that somebody is they're not really losing weight, but their skin fold measurements are getting, they're obviously losing body fat and their strength is staying the same or even increasing,
right,
then we're moving in the right direction. That's what I care about.
Good. Yeah, and really that seems to be the thing that people care about the most, is that external raw data. Yeah. The measurements and the weight. And regardless of what that means about how their body's operating.
Right. Yeah. But
they're worried about the aesthetics and stuff.
I think too often we get wrapped up in the aesthetics or the performance that we forget to pay attention to stress. And that's the one other thing that's pretty subjective that I like to ask clients is, we're going to measure this, we're going to measure performance, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed were you this week? Yeah. And just kind of getting to that and addressing it and really kind of hitting that home. Like, hey, stress is a big deal. We're going to pay attention to it and alleviate it as much as possible. Yeah. My wife actually had a question she wants you to answer.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a son who's about a year old, between 1 and 2.
First of all, congrats.
Thank you. It's about time.
It's taken a year.
It's taken a gosh darn year working on my cuss words. Anyway, she has to load him into we got a full-size sedan car. And we talked about this briefly a couple weeks ago, about it being such a vulnerable position to be in when you're loading your kid in your car. What can she do specifically to be safer?
This is going to be a really crappy answer, but honestly, there's not a whole lot there's nothing you can do to avoid needing to buckle your kids in a car. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You can't just drive away from the parking lot with them on your lap and then
just
put them in the right place. Yeah. Just let them drive.
Whee!
Well, next topic.
In response to that question, realistically, the same thing applies about not getting mugged in general, is just being aware and not being afraid of asking for help when you need it. Like at a grocery store, in a parking lot, pay attention to where everybody is, park under street lights, park close to the door, that kind of stuff.
So when you say ask for help, that's like, hey, can you help me load to my...
Here, can you take my son and help me load him into the car?
Help me load this couch into my van.
Yeah, don't do that. But I mean, store staff, they have security
Oh yeah.
On staff, and if you go in and say, I don't feel comfortable, they'll have somebody go with you.
Right on.
So that's what I mean about not being embarrassed to ask for help, because a lot of, like I said before, people have this sense of pride and they don't want to inconvenience people. But as far as self-defense stuff, that's one of those things that you have to do physically,
Yeah.
like training. There are some tricks that you can do. I can tell you a good idea. So you've probably heard that people say, "Oh, put your keys in your fist."
Uh-huh.
When you're walking like in the parking lot, because if somebody jumps you can punch them with like Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
That's not the best thing that you can do. People from birth have this natural response to want to grab things that are put in front of them or thrown at them. It's just something we do. That's why a lot of people, when they drop a knife in the kitchen, they reach to grab for it, even though
it's a knife.
Dummy, it's a knife. It's gonna cut your hand.
Hey, idiot.
Yeah. Hey, dummy. Or a hot iron, that kind of thing. And so one of the things you can do is have your keys ready, because you ought to have them ready all just coming out of the store. Like, have your plan to get to your car and get in and go. So your keys should be ready for that. With them being ready, if somebody approaches you and you can tell that they're up to no good, toss them in their face.
Oh,
and then run. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they will either flinch and pull away, or they will reach to catch it, giving you some time to scoot.
Would you do that? Like throw your keys at them so they catch it, and then just right as they catch it, just haymaker them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be sizing up their groin.
Yeah.
From the second I saw them.
Yep.
Yep.
Full package.
I'd throw the keys in their face and probably kick them in the groin.
Right on.
But that's me.
What about the eyes? Would you go for the eyes at all? The groin of the face?
Thanks, Dwight.
Yeah. He knows what's up.
He does. But, aside from that, it's one of those things you just have to train that situation. Like, try to train in as close to that situation as possible on the regular.
Uh-huh.
And just like with training and diet, change it up so it's not the same scenario, because you don't know what's going to happen realistically. So, you may plan and train for somebody approaching you from behind, but you don't know when you're going to turn around and see them. They might be super close. They still might be 20 feet away. So try those different ones. It's really awkward, but it's worth doing. Practicing carjacking defenses.
Yeah.
There are some pretty simple gun disarms that are very effective. Unfortunately, I don't know a gun defense that's 100% foolproof, just like any defense, any punch counter or knife counter or gun counter, you still have the chance that you're going to get shot, stabbed, or punched.
Yeah,
so,
nothing's for sure.
Yeah, but being prepared and training that stuff is better than assuming it's not going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Nobody was ever saved from burying their head in the sand. So carjacking drills are fantastic. We have a dummy gun, like a rubber gun that's weighted pretty good. Every once in a while, I'll pull my car in. We have a bay door at our facility, and I'll pull my car in and we'll work carjacking stuff, and it's fun.
That's pretty sweet.
It's worth doing, And I'm not recommending this wholly, but if you don't have access to a quality self-defense program, YouTube, and try to practice the stuff you see on YouTube safely with willing participants.
Yeah.
Preferably.
I'm just driving up to some guy running.
Like if you Google gun defenses or knife defenses, there's some real garbage out there, and if you just scroll through the comments or look at how many likes versus dislikes, you'll get a pretty good idea whether or not martial artists think it's a good one or not, because they are very quick. That population, that segment of people are very quick to critique and call BS when they see it.
Do you critique YouTube videos? Like thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'll thumbs up and thumbs down, but I won't comment unless it's offensive how bad the information is.
Uh-huh.
Like if it could hurt somebody,
Oh, yes.
I would comment. Or if it's a swindler,
Uh-huh.
like what's that one? Yellow Bamboo Forest or something like that. They're these folks that believe in the no touch knockout.
Yes.
All that stuff, and they're just trying to get people's money. That's all it is. I mean, they might believe it on some level, but it's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuff really bothers me.
Should we announce that you and I are toying with
Getting married?
No.
Secrets out. Start planning the wedding.
We're registered at Sportsman's Warehouse
And Crate and Barrel.
and Crate and Barrel and Craigslist. We have an adventurous relationship. That
Our
we're
colors are blue and green.
uh,
But anyway, adventurous. I mean, our
Very,
venture,
very adventurous.
Our venture.
our venture with firearms.
Well, if we say it on here, it's gonna happen.
Well, I think that it wouldn't.
Like
Caleb
you
and
gotta
I.
commit.
Caleb and I.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying once it's on here and out,
Yeah.
we have to do it.
Well, I can just say that we are putting together curriculum for a class on firearms training.
Yeah. It's something that we both feel strongly about, and if you listen to the How to Not Get Mugged episode, you heard us talking about how we feel it's a necessity for people to have a basic understanding and skill in handling a firearm.
If you're going for martial arts,
Well,
I don't think everybody on the planet needs to know how to.
you're right. Kim Jong-un doesn't need to know how to...
He probably doesn't.
No.
He's got people that have people that have people that do the gun stuff.
Yeah. He just has a button.
He just has a button and just winks at people. Hey, get him. You got any other announcements? Any other housekeeping?
Oh, yeah. So, I don't think I've mentioned it on here, but I know I've told you in person. I am starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
a week from tomorrow. A brand new art for me. And I know there's a lot of people out... Well, maybe someday there will be a lot of people out there listening to this thinking,
I think one of you right now
Yeah. Thinking,
might be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Mom.
Professor Mom.
Professor Mom.
But I'm excited about it.
Good.
It'll
Me
be
too.
cool.
Likey.
And it just... I'm a firm believer in always trying something new. Like on the regular. And putting...
Bath salts?
Yeah. If that's your thing. You know?
Okay.
If you're tired of heroin...
I don't want to be at that class.
But yeah, it's going to be new for me. It's a new beast. And I'm excited to see how it's similar and how it's different. It's going to be good.
Right on. Party on, Girth.
Party on, Wayne.
Thanks for listening, everybody. It's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get a hold of us, email us a question or anything like that. You can reach us at modernerafitnesspodcast@gmail.com or
Twitter @MEF Podcast.
yeah, same for Instagram. So find us on there. Like all of our pictures.
MEF, like mango, enema, fancy, podcast. All spelled out.
Oh, that's good. And we're on Facebook too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Check us out.
check us out.
Thanks for listening, and we really appreciate talking to you guys. So remember, live in a good place, keep your mind deep, and work when it's time. See ya.
Bye. Start planning the wedding.